Animal Kingdom is one of my favorite theme parks I have ever visited. But in today's video, we're going to look at how all of you would fix this park. Before we get started, please like this video. Please leave a comment down below. I'd love to hear more ideas about Animal Kingdom. And of course, please subscribe to this YouTube channel. At the time of this recording, we're pushing for 20,000 subscribers, so I would greatly appreciate your help to reach that goal. Thank you so much, everybody. Starting things off with our first comment. For Animal Kingdom, get rid of Zootopia in the Tree of Life. This does not tie the park together at all. Replace the dragon statue at the front with the Yeti or a Banshee from Pandora. Extend the Wildlife Express track, if possible, to the Animal Kingdom Lodge for an exclusive entrance. And do something with that Yeti, for the love of God. Replace it with a screen or a year-long refurbishment of Everest like they're doing for Thunder Mountain. I think replacing that big ol' animatronic or former animatronic with the screen would be like a total travesty. I'm really hoping for the day that Everest gets that year-long refurbishment where they literally tear a hole into the mountain to fix the Yeti. I have more hope now for a fixed Yeti than I ever have. Like they've proven that they're willing to refurbish rides for an extended amount of time. Like as mentioned in that comment, Big Thunder Mountain has been closed for a long time for that retrack. So hopefully one day Animal Kingdom will be able to do that for Everest. I think the major issue with that is that Animal Kingdom has a lot less attractions. Big Thunder Mountain isn't even the only mine train at Magic Kingdom because of Seven Dwarves. And meanwhile, Everest is a very high profile attraction in a park that does not have that many attractions. And of course, they literally just replaced animatronics on Frozen Ever After. So they're willing to both upgrade animatronics and do long-term refurbishments. I'm just not sure if Everest will be able to receive that fix because Animal Kingdom is just so low on attractions. I mean, at some point in time, Everest is gonna need a retrack. Like, they cycle that ride so often every single day. So like, if we have to wait 20 more years for an Everest retrack, I'm sure they would take that opportunity to fix the Yeti animatronic as well. I also love the idea of an exclusive entrance from the Animal Kingdom Lodge. I was very fortunate. I had an opportunity to stay at the Animal Kingdom Lodge. It's one of my favorite Walt Disney World hotels I've been able to spend time at. But the annoying thing was that it was not walkable to Animal Kingdom. Like, it's literally the closest hotel to Animal Kingdom, and you still have to take a bus to get from the Animal Kingdom Lodge to Animal Kingdom itself. I'm not sure if you'd be able to loop around the Wildlife Express track because it's on the other side of Kilimanjaro Safaris, so I think you'd have to go all the way around the safari, or maybe you could cut through it. I'm not sure. But I do like the idea of a train. Pretty much anything would be more magical than a bus, so there's that. I haven't seen the Zootopia show, and I'm not trying to watch a video of it. I like to reserve judgment for attractions until I'm able to experience them in person. I'm kind of mixed on Zootopia at Animal Kingdom, but I hated It's Tough to Be a Bug as a child, so to be honest, I'm not too upset that they replaced It's Tough to Be a Bug. Moving on. 5 ways to fix Animal Kingdom and make it a full day park. Number 1, a land dedicated to Australia. You could theme it to a walkabout, and of course you'd have a ton of weird animals. Possibly place a Bluey meet and greet there. 2, a land dedicated to the Arctic and Antarctic regions. It would be indoors and air conditioned, so it would be a great place for shade and cooling, and you could have an Aurora Borealis show on the ceiling. 3, a nighttime drone show. You could get something cool at night that doesn't make noise. 4, exhibit of nocturnal wildlife. Again, something to do at night. 5, redo the river to be an indoor water ride, bringing back the Discovery River boats, and have it themed to mythological animals based around each continent, thus finally incorporating Beastly Kingdom. Being indoors, this would protect the animatronics better, as well as offer yet another attraction that can be done at night. Lots of great ideas here. I love the idea of an Australia themed land. I love the idea of an Antarctic themed land as well, because of course a vast majority of Animal Kingdom's themed lands are themed to continents. Obviously the main two are Africa and Asia, and they're currently creating the tropical Americas, which I'm very excited for. I will say that I feel like an Antarctic land would be very, very different from everything else in the park. And also SeaWorld Orlando kind of has like a lockdown on Arctic themed attractions. They like have like 2 different Arctic lands, which is really bizarre. I know Disney would handle it much better, but again, from like an overall overall park perspective, I don't know, it would just be very different. And you could make the argument that Pandora, the world of Avatar, is very different from the rest of the park, which is kind of true, but I feel like visually Pandora fits better with Animal Kingdom than an Arctic themed land. I don't know, maybe I'm just kind of sour on that idea because I haven't really seen like a really well done Arctic themed land, but again, I do believe that Disney would handle it much better than SeaWorld Orlando. I love the idea of a nighttime drone show. It's really upsetting to me that Animal Kingdom closes so early. Like when I stayed at the Animal Kingdom Lodge, I was able to have extra magic hours at Animal Kingdom at night. So I was like one of the last people to ride Flight of Passage because I really wanted to see Pandora at night. And the sun wasn't even all the way down yet, even though it was like 2 hours after park closing for day guests. But I'm not gonna lie, I was a little disappointed. I mean, the floors look cool, but like the floating mountains themselves were kind of like, eh. Like it looked a lot like Tiana's Bayou Adventure, and I'm not gonna lie, when I first saw Tiana's Bayou Adventure at night, I was kind of disappointed. A drone show would be really cool. I've been concerned ever since Disneyland Paris has really leaned into the drones. I'm like, you can't replace the fireworks at Disney parks. Like, fireworks over a castle is an iconic Disney image, and you just cannot get rid of that. But like, in the case of Walt Disney World, having the drone show, the drone nighttime spectacular at Animal Kingdom would be really, really cool. I'm also not really sure how Disney views drones, because I know Disney Springs had a drone show, so are drones just kind of like a side thing? Like, are they even enough to hold up a nighttime spectacular? Like, maybe combine drones and water fountains? Like a mini World of Color? I'm not sure. But lots of great ideas. Moving on. Suggestion for Animal Kingdom. I think they should add an Oceania area to the park. They already have other continents, Asia, Africa, and soon there will be tropical Americas. So again, I love this idea. Really, really cool. This idea would expand beyond Australia, but I'm sure Australia would have heavy representation in this land. And as I discussed earlier, I feel like this land would fit better into the existing Animal Kingdom better than an Antarctic land. I mean, in a perfect world, I want to see multiple lands added to Animal Kingdom. I want to see this Australia/Oceania area. I want to see a Lion King land, which I'm sure we'll discuss later. And I want to see that Antarctic land. But like, of those three ideas that I just listed, the Antarctic one would be lowest on my personal preference. But I want more Animal Kingdom. I love this park, man. Moving on. Nice, we're doing Animal Kingdom next. I definitely have some ideas for that. For a while, I've been wanting to see an Australia section added to Animal Kingdom, since there are animals indigenous to Australia, and it looks like we're getting that with the Bluey attraction that's coming there. Other than that, there are two things I want to see added to Animal Kingdom. I would make a clone of the Lion King log flume that's coming to Disneyland Paris and put it in the Africa section. 2, make a clone of Shanghai Disneyland's Zootopia Land and put it between Africa and Pandora. A lot of people are telling me Disney shouldn't do that for some reason. I don't know why. Yeah, Zootopia at Animal Kingdom does seem to be a controversial subject. As of now, I personally don't mind it, and I think a full-blown immersive land would be really, really cool. I kind of broke my own rule with Shanghai Disneyland Zootopia Land. I have looked at videos of the land and of, I think the trackless ride is called Zootopia Hot Pursuit. It doesn't look like the best thing in the world. Like, it does look very screen dependent, but I'm sure it's better in person. But before I rode Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway for the first time, I thought that the POVs of that ride looked really unimpressive, and then I rode it, and now it's one of my favorite rides ever. So again, I try to reserve judgment on a ride that I haven't ridden, but I would prefer if a hypothetical Animal Kingdom Zootopia Land had original attractions, but Shanghai is like on the other side of the planet, so a clone from Shanghai wouldn't be the biggest deal in the world. Just look at Tron. Or maybe you could do a clone of Hot Pursuit and add like a roller coaster or something, because in my opinion, Animal Kingdom does need more coasters. Right now, there's only Everest. As for Lion King, I personally think that Lion King deserves a full-blown land with multiple attractions, but I feel like a clone of the log ride going to Disneyland Paris, that would be pretty realistic, and it would fit the best in the Africa section. But like, in my perfect world, there's a full land with like 3 e-tickets, maybe a clone of that log flume, maybe a roller coaster around Pride Rock, and maybe a trackless dark ride, because like, some of the sequences from the original Lion King film are like very high energy, like the just can't wait to be king sequence. I feel like a trackless dark ride could embody that energy really, really well. And of course, as we have discussed, an Australia land at Animal Kingdom would be really, really cool. Especially with the Bluey meet and greets. Not sure if Disney World's getting one, but I know Disneyland is adding Bluey to the Fantasyland Theater for a meet and greet, so that's cool. Moving on, I think an Up-themed attraction, maybe similar to Peter Pan, where you fly in the floating house through scenes from the movie, featuring animals like the snipe and the dogs, could be fitting for the park. Up has been a big part of the park's DNA, and a ride to represent it would be amazing. Oh yeah, and fix the Yeti, of course. We've already had the Yeti conversation. 100% agree. That needs to happen at some point. I love this idea of an up attraction. I think I discussed something similar in my California Adventure wishlist video. Obviously, in that park, it would fit the best in Grizzly Peak. So maybe there's a world out there where Grizzly Peak replaces the Redwood Creek Challenge Trail with a full-blown up attraction, and maybe Animal Kingdom gets a clone of that ride. An inverted dark ride where you're flying or floating around in a house, or like a house designed ride vehicle. That would be really cool, and obviously there's nothing else like that at Animal Kingdom right now. Moving on, imagine two B&M inverts that are racing each other, almost dueling. They could be dragons or something. Wait a second, that seems familiar. As someone who never got to ride dueling dragons at Islands of Adventure, that would be really cool. I really want to see Disney build another thrill coaster. I don't think they'd work with B&M. I think they would let Vekoma or something run with it. Like, you could make the argument that the only thrill coaster at Walt Disney World is Rock and Roller Coaster, which is a really outdated attraction. Like, Universal Orlando has built Velocicoaster and Stardust Racers over the last few years, and those are two of the greatest, or three of the greatest, roller coasters of all time. They are absolutely incredible, and I'd love to see Disney, like, take a shot at something like that. And obviously, if you go back to the original Beastly Kingdom concepts, like, Universal pretty much took the Dragon Coaster idea from Animal Kingdom, and they actually built it. So now that that coaster is gone, bringing it back to Animal Kingdom, like, that would be incredible. That would be like history correcting itself almost. But unfortunately, this is probably one of the most unrealistic ideas. But it's very, very intriguing in my opinion. Next comment. Pandora needs to be expanded, another e-ticket ride, maybe a coaster, and then another small ride. I do agree. I love Pandora, the World of Avatar. It's one of my favorite themed lands of all time. I've made a few wishlist videos about Animal Kingdom, about Walt Disney World, and every time I mention I really want to see a Vekoma flying coaster in Pandora, the World of Avatar. That would be so, so cool. When I say I want a roller coaster in Pandora, I don't want like a roller coaster flying in front of the floating mountains. Like, ideally, it would have its like own corner. It would be relegated to its own corner. It would stay there, so it wouldn't break the immersion of the land. Maybe you can even make it an indoor ride. Like, if you theme an indoor flying coaster to like the caves of Pandora, that could be so cool. You could have the bioluminescence through the entire ride experience. That would be absolutely jaw-dropping, because obviously at this moment in history, we can't really see the bioluminescence of the land itself, so dedicating an attraction to the bioluminescence would be really, really cool. I mean, you could make the argument that Navi River Journey already does that, but I don't know. A flying coaster would be a much more dynamic ride experience. Maybe you could have it go indoor and outdoor, so it would differentiate itself from Navi River Journey. But I think that would be an unreal attraction and easily one of the best in all of Walt Disney World. Again, I just love Pandora, so more Pandora would make me happy. Moving on, I would say the park is already currently a good split between small and large rides, so kids have things to do. But although the ratio is good, there is still a need for attractions for small kids that everyone can still enjoy. So I propose a small themed area themed to Bambi. It would include either a Heimlich choo-choo train style attraction going through the forest, retelling the story, or a small coaster, Gadget Go coaster but longer, preferably both since the family coaster would still have a height requirement. Also have lots of shaded areas, a restaurant, think Hungry Bear, and an animal trail showing the real life characters, a deer, rabbit, owl, skunk. This is a very nice idea. I know for a lot of my wishlist videos, I don't really consider that Disney parks do need to appeal to every demographic, including small children. children. So this kind of feels like an upscale Bugs Land, but obviously themed to Bambi. I think that's a really cool idea as a kid that grew up with Bugs Land. I think both of these attractions could be really, really fun. And as of now, Animal Kingdom doesn't really have a kids area, so a dedicated area could be really, really cool. But Disney might be moving away from that. Like, obviously, Bugs Land is no more, so they might be looking to incorporate more accommodating attractions throughout all of their parks, like, as a whole. Like, I also see the argument that you don't want to keep the kids stuck in one corner of the park. Like, you want them to be able to walk around the whole park and have things to do. Like, that makes complete sense. I know a lot of people complain about amusement parks like that. Like, I feel like the worst example is Six Flags Magic Mountain. They have an absolutely huge kids area, but obviously around the rest of the park, there's not really any kids rides. It's all thrill rides. Obviously, the Disney parks, like Animal Kingdom, are nowhere near as bad as that. It is something to keep in mind. I personally don't have a problem with the kids area though. Moving on, I would add an Indiana Jones land area right next to the new Indiana Jones ride that's replacing Dinosaur. Add an Avatar roller coaster that surrounds the Pandora area and make an Up Dark ride. We've already talked about the Avatar coaster and we've talked about Up. Again, both great ideas. I think a full-blown Indiana Jones area would be interesting. That might work as kind of like a mini land to the tropical Americas. Maybe you could bring in a version of the Indiana Jones coasters at Disneyland Paris or Tokyo Disney Sea. Obviously, those coasters themselves aren't the greatest rides ever. I've done the one in Paris. Not a great ride. But maybe you could build something inspired by that. A better coaster around a temple, that could be interesting. And then you'd have an amazing 1-2 punch for an Indiana Jones land with an upscale Indiana Jones roller coaster and of course the dinosaur re-theme. And then maybe you could bring in a version of the Boneyard that Dino Land used to have, but in the Indiana Jones corner of the tropical Americas. That's a pretty cool idea. Next up, I think it would be cool for them to revisit some old scrapped ideas, rides, or areas and bring them back to help improve the park. They could bring back Beastly Kingdom, the original idea for the Lost Continent at Islands of Adventure, especially now that the Lost Continent was removed. So overall, bring back old ideas and make the park more like its original plan. That would help improve the park a lot, in my opinion. That's another great point that I didn't consider. Like, Dueling Dragons was originally part of the Lost Continent, and now all of Lost Continent is biting the dust. So that's kind of amusing. Again, this would be like history correcting itself if they brought in those ideas back to the park that it was originally supposed to go to. That could be really, really cool. A lot of the lands that we have discussed have been very like IP driven, like Zootopia, like a Pandora expansion, like Lion King. So this would be a fantastic option for an original themed land. And it would be very rooted in the history of Animal Kingdom. It would feel very natural. So I think that's a fantastic idea. In my perfect world, we get that Australia land, we get a Zootopia land, we get a Lion King land, we get a version of Beastly Kingdom, and of course that Antarctic idea from earlier. So like 5 new lands, boom, put them on the wish list. And then our last comment, make a genetically modified Indominus Rex and have it walk around the park. I feel like this is a really realistic idea and it could be done in a matter of hours. So don't be surprised if Disney has this ready to go by tomorrow. And that's how all of you would fix Animal Kingdom. What do you think of the ideas in this video? Do you agree with some? Do you disagree with others? Please let me know down in the comments below. Please like this video and of course please subscribe to this YouTube channel. Thank you so much for watching everybody and I will catch you later.